You step outside, the airlock hisses shut behind you. For a moment, everything is silent. Not Earth silent, Mars silent. The kind of silence that feels wrong. No wind in the trees, no birds, no distant traffic. Just a rusty red desert stretching beyond the horizon. Above you, the sky isn't blue, it's dusty orange. And hanging in that sky is something you've never seen before. A tiny pale star. Earth, your entire species, every war, every song, every person you've ever loved, reduced to a bright dot. And that's when it hits you. You're standing on another planet, not visiting, living here. And suddenly the question isn't, how did I get here? It's, how am I supposed to survive here? Most people think Mars is basically Earth's little brother. It's not. Mars is actually much closer to being a frozen desert apocalypse. Its average temperature is around -63 degrees Celsius. That's colder than Antarctica. And unlike Antarctica, there are no heated research stations nearby, no rescue helicopters, no supply ships, nothing. If something breaks, you're on your own, which sounds crazy because Mars is absolutely terrible. But here's the thing, every other option is somehow worse. Venus, hot enough to melt lead. The Moon, no atmosphere, huge temperature swings. The outer planets, too far away. Mars is the only place where humans could realistically build a permanent settlement. Not because it's good, because it's survivable. There's a difference. Here's something most people don't know. Mars used to look surprisingly Earth-like. Billions of years ago, rivers flowed across its surface. There were lakes, possibly entire oceans. Scientists have found ancient river valleys, thousands of kilometers long, carved into the landscape. Imagine standing in the middle of the Sahara Desert and realizing it was once the bottom of an ocean. That's Mars, an entire world that seems to have died. And the evidence is everywhere. Look at Mars from orbit and you'll see dried up river deltas, canyons, lake basins, flood channels. The planet looks less like an alien world and more like Earth after something went terribly wrong, which raises an unsettling question. If Mars once had oceans, could it have had life? And if life appeared there once, could traces of it still be hiding underground? Now, here's something most people don't realize. Mars has the largest volcano in the entire solar system. It's called Olympus Mons, and it makes Mount Everest look ridiculous. Olympus Mons stands about 22 kilometers tall. That's nearly 3 times the height of Everest. But here's the weird part. The base is so enormous that if you stood on it, you wouldn't even realize you were climbing a volcano. The curve is too gradual. It's like standing on a mountain the size of a country. Then there's the canyon. Everyone talks about the Grand Canyon, right? Mars has Valles Marineris. And it's absurd. If you dropped Valles Marineris onto Earth, it would stretch across most of the United States. It's over 4,000 kilometers long. Imagine flying over the Grand Canyon and realizing it's just a crack compared to this thing. Here's something you'd notice almost immediately on Mars. You'd weigh only 38% of what you do on Earth. If you weigh 80 kilograms on Earth, you'd feel like you weigh around 30 on Mars. Walking would feel normal. Running would feel weird. Jumping would feel amazing. You could leap significantly higher and stay in the air longer. For the first few days, you'd probably feel like a superhero. The long-term effects on your body, however, are much less fun. Your bones would weaken. Your muscles would atrophy. You'd need constant exercise just to stay functional. But that's not the strangest part. The sun looks different on Mars. It's about 50% farther away than it is from Earth. Daytime looks oddly familiar, yet subtly wrong. Like Earth with the brightness turned down. A permanent late afternoon. A world that never quite wakes up. And here's the creepiest fact about Mars. Sunsets are blue. Not orange, not red, blue. Think about that. On Earth, the sky is blue during the day and red at sunset. Mars flipped the script. Its dusty atmosphere scatters light differently, creating glowing blue halos around the setting sun. Imagine spending years on Mars. Eventually, you'd find a blue sunset completely normal. That's when you'd know. Earth no longer feels like home. Would you actually want to live there? At first, probably yes. The adventure would be incredible. The views would be unforgettable. You'd be part of history. But after a few months, you'd start missing things you never thought about before. Rain, fresh air, grass, the smell of a forest, a spontaneous walk outside without a spacesuit. On Mars, every trip outdoors requires technology, planning, and risk. Every breath is borrowed from a machine, and that's what makes Earth so extraordinary. Not because it's rare, but because most of us never notice how perfect it is until we imagine losing it. Mars may be the most Earth-like planet we've ever found, but living there would teach us just how alien every other world really is. And maybe that's exactly why we should go.